Why does nobody talk about the fact that there is a gigantic base controlled by genetically modified, hyper-intelligent gorillas with anger issues on the moon? Let's take a look at what the space apes are doing up there, how they could be interfering with Earth, and what those damn dirty apes are up to. As you probably know, Winston was part of an experiment at the Horizon lunar colony. The moon base was supposed to be humanity's first step towards renewing their space exploration efforts. It was mainly populated by scientists, but it was also the home to a group of genetically enhanced gorillas that were being experimented on to test the effects of prolonged habitation in space. This whole project was the brainchild of a Chinese corporation, Lucheng Interstella. It's their headquarters that you fight in and around on the Lijiang control maps. Among the scientists employed at the moon base was Dr. Harold Winston. He noticed one of the gorillas displayed a greater level of brain development than the others and took him under his wing, teaching him science and allowing the gorilla to assist in experiments. One day, however, the other gorillas led an uprising and killed the scientists and claimed the colony for their own. Winston, the ape, escaped in a makeshift pod and would eventually join Overwatch, but what became of the moon base remains a mystery. This all took place over a decade ago, so what is going on up there now? We don't know if any efforts have been made to retake the moon base, but it's almost certainly still colonized as there are lights visible from Earth. There is not much evidence for what's going on up there, but there is some. If you poke around on Lijiang Tower, you can find some reports on what Lucheng Interstella are up to. First is a newspaper located in the night market. There are two visible pages. One talks about May, while the other says space travel, new kind of travel, and contains the Lucheng logo. So they're certainly pursuing their space exploration efforts, but this is talking about travel, not the moon. So while the photo could be of the lunar surface, I believe this is more likely a promotional image made with assets from their headquarters, as we can see the same suits and rover there. Speaking of promotional images, we can see a couple of posters for the Horizon lunar colony located inside their offices. So maybe this is a sign they took back control, or maybe they're just trying to make everything seem normal. There is some evidence to back this up. In one of the rooms where the posters are located is a picture of Dr. Harold Winston and a young ape Winston on a desk. This would imply that this was Harold's office, but it's been over a decade since the uprising on the moon, which, as far as we know, cost the doctor his life. So why is his office still intact? Could Lucheng Interstella be keeping the events of the moon a secret? Surely Winston himself is a pretty big giveaway of what happened up there. Another idea is that maybe this part of the headquarters is some kind of museum. Perhaps the posters along with the spacesuits and the other equipment are just a part of a display in memory of those lost. The red spacesuit was actually created in memory of an avid Overwatch fan who tragically died during the game's development. The text above it reads, "Heroes never die." Blizzard chose to create this touching tribute here and in this particular way. Could that imply that the other spacesuits are actually in memory of scientists from the moon base? Who the rest of the scientists were, we'll probably never know, but the flags on the suits indicate there were a number of people from Numbadi, which might imply an Omnic connection. The other suits seem to be for an American astronaut. The next interesting thing is located at the heart of the control center. This hologram shows the Interstellar Journey space station, the company's latest attempt to reach the stars. However, things aren't going to plan, as we can see on the electronic billboards around the night market, which tell us the space station has encountered sudden errors. Could the station have been compromised? There are no details, but if there is a moon base filled with enhanced gorillas up there, could they have destroyed the new satellite? Maybe it's something a little closer to home and it was sabotaged by Talon or some other entity. It's hard to tell what's really going on the moon, but if we assume for the moment that humanity was unable to retake the base, could the apes still be alive? Could they have bred? Could they be a potential threat? While it's unlikely any of the apes have the same level of intelligence we see from Winston, they are certainly enhanced enough to take over the base, implying a relatively high level of intelligence. In theory, they could still be in control. The experiment they were part of was to test prolonged exposure to living on the moon, so it's likely they could have brought gorillas of both genders to test the effects on reproduction as well. There was also presumably quite a number of them to be able to overpower their captors. A base of that size would likely have included means for production of food and recycling water, so it's unlikely they would have died of starvation. They might have even had access to the gene therapy equipment that was used on them. If they were able to harness that, they could possibly develop even further. One final note, during two of the cinematic shorts, Hero and Dragons, the camera focuses on the moon. Seeing as how much Blizzard loves foreshadowing its future plans, perhaps they are trying to draw our attention to what is happening on the moon, and maybe hinting at something more to come. So, what do you think? Do the gorillas still control the moon? Are they interfering with humanity's space exploration? Is Liu Chang Interstellar trying to cover up what happened? Could we one day get a map on the moon, or maybe the space station? Let me know in the comments below. As always, this has been Jason for Curse saying thanks for watching, and enjoy the game.